Steven, last season was such a whirlwind for you from start to finish. So when it ended, how did you decompress?
Yeah, decompress is a good word. Went out to Chicago and just kind of laid low, didn't do anything. I woke up at like noon every day, ate whatever I wanted to, played some video games. It was nice to just kind of be like a normal person and just kind of reset after that long year.
How long does that last?
I usually try to take like a month off from all those kind of activities, so kind of around that like 2-3 weeks, then you kind of start getting that itch again, but I mean, I was just a potato for that first couple of weeks for sure.
You catch any flack from White Sox fans out there?
No, nobody knows who I am out there. It's such a big city, and I've just been learning to explore it, but yeah, nobody. I'm just a little kid out there.
So it was easy to stay under the radar, kind of? Or?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, I'm a very unassuming looking person. I don't think anybody walks in the street and is like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. I'm just another person out there.
When you look back on last season, Steven, what comes to mind? I mean, it was almost like you couldn't have written it up any much better.
Yeah, no, I think I take a ton of pride. Well, we all take a ton of pride, and just like nobody really believed in us. Everybody kind of thought that the AL Central belonged to somebody else, and then just to kind of go through and then kind of get close as a team and then win out. I mean, that was really rewarding for us, and to be able to build off of that going into the next year is really exciting.
Looking ahead, does that underdog mindset change, or do you try to hold on to some piece of that?
No, I think for sure. Definitely still the underdog mindset. I think just kind of being in Cleveland in general, I think even though we had that year before, I think some people probably think it's a fluke, you know, that baseball doesn't work. Whatever narrative they want to drive, but yeah, that underdog mentality is still there, especially with us being as young as well. We still have that fire with us.
Did it help to face a team like the Yankees with all the spotlight, especially for this young crew? Did it help that in terms of like growing and building for the next season?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Just kind of like, you know, media in New York, the environment, all the people. That was definitely kind of eye-opening. I think you kind of hear those kind of storylines, but once you're in it, it's a completely different thing. So that'll definitely help for this year.
What is the difference between that sort of environment and, say, you know, Guardians Royals August 7th?
Yeah, I mean, just first of all, like the stature of New York, like they've been there before. They have vets that are doing it, so they have the experience there. And then the fans, you know, the atmosphere. There's more media there just because it's the Yankees in general, so there's just more cameras around. Just kind of be a little more exposed there was good because I mean, luckily in Cleveland, it's kind of like a lower media, kind of less attention. But once you get to New York, the lights are real bright.
So you like it that way, the way it is here?
I think so. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's definitely a lot cozier than kind of having somebody with a microphone breathing down your neck the whole time.
How excited are you to add Josh Bell to this lineup?
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, as a fan, I was watching him in the minors, and he obviously is a great hitter. And then we played against him in San Diego, and I mean, he's a really intimidating guy. I think you kind of want as many tough guys on your team as possible to strike fear in the other team. But I mean, complete hitter, great defender. He seems like a great guy. I haven't talked to him very much, but he seems like a great guy. It's really exciting. It shows that, you know, we're trying to win this next year, so it's really cool.
He did also mention that it's a young team, but he's not really seeing you guys as rookies. He's seeing you guys with experience and ready to rumble. Is that a mentality you and other first-timers are walking into the season with?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, even though we're not rookies, like comparatively, we're still a lot younger than everybody else, and we don't take that lightly. And I think it makes us feel really comfortable because we played with a lot of each other in the minor leagues, so it's kind of like we're playing ball again. The cities are a little bigger and the games mean a little more, but at the core of it, we're still just playing ball with our boys.
Steve, follow up with that really quick. Do you think the game played was getting younger with the past of a couple of years because the average players are younger, the young stars are more often to see that? Do you think the game's getting younger?
I don't know if the game is getting younger. I think it's really clear just with us, just because we were supposed to be in kind of a rebuild. I think the sample size is really small. I think they do a really good job of marketing really talented young players, but kind of the lifespan of those guys is different from every year. So I don't know if it's like a consistent trend. I think recently, yeah, it has been getting a little younger, but I don't think that's an indicator for what's to come.
Steven, at this time last year, obviously there were so many of you that haven't proven yourselves at the major league level yet. And I imagine it's a balance to try to not get too overconfident, but also benefit from the experience, that you belong here, and it's just that confidence level. Do you feel that balance for you in particular, and just for everybody too?
Yeah, I think being neutral is kind of a big thing I work on just kind of through the whole year. I talked about before, like, it's really hard to play baseball when, like, you're really, really high sometimes and then you're really, really low sometimes, because then those falls feel really tough, and then when you're low, it's hard to get out of them. I try to always stay in the middle, and it's easier to say that than actually do it, but it's always kind of having that consistent mindset of just like, yeah, like, things were going really well before, but past success is no indicator of future success. You got to show up, you got to suit up every day, it's a new pitcher, it's a new game every day. So just taking it one day at a time.
How do you use that confidence as a positive to help you build forward?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting kind of idea, because whether it was good or bad, yesterday's over, and you kind of have the positive mentality of like looking towards the next day, and next day could be the most amazing day of your life or the worst day. It doesn't matter, but you'll never know. You have to go into it kind of, being excited, being willing to learn, and just attacking the day.
During your sabbatical in Chicago after the season ended, did you use that time to reflect? Is there anything that you're looking back at that you did this season that you want to work on going into spring training, going into the start of the season?
Yeah, I think I will say, it was kind of hard to process that whole year. I think I went on a vacation kind of December, and that was kind of the first time I got back, and it was like, yeah, that was it was easier to kind of see the whole year in the past. But yeah, maybe just kind of leaning into that mentality a little more. I think for like a good first half of the year, it was just like, I need to survive. I need to kind of just make sure I'm productive. I think now I can kind of be a little more, I wouldn't say comfortable, but like, breathe a little easier. It's kind of tough when you're kind of like looking over your shoulder and seeing who's coming. And I think with that confidence and calmness, you can kind of help other people along the way and be a better teammate and better person.
The changes to the bigger bases, the changes to the pickoff moves and all that, what do those changes mean for you in terms of where you hit the top of the order and what you can do to get on base and be available for Ozzie and for Josh Bell?
Yeah, I haven't dove too much into it. I know kind of the basis of him, but I haven't had any talks with any coaches on how really that's going to impact and like the really small details of it. But like obviously I know the base is a little bigger. Every inch, every centimeter helps. So the bases will be a lot more enticing. Same with the pickoffs, but I guess I don't really know too much about him right now.
Goddamn, man, 1 year, let's go.
I'm ready to go.